Let me introduce myself to you. I'm Traevena Byrd, Children's Law Center Board Chair. Thank you. Thank you very much. I also serve as Vice President and General Counsel at American University here in DC. Thank you. Any American AU Eagles in the room? Couple? Okay. Oh, my favorite one is here. On behalf of the entire Children's Law Center community, I want to thank you for being here with us tonight. And I want to take a moment, actually, to give a very special welcome to Chief Judge Anita Josie Herring. Where is Judge Herring? Okay, and also Judge Warren King is here today as well. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right, turn the page. Okay. Now, I want to first share that when I joined the board a few years ago, I remember the excitement that I felt about supporting an organization that has such a tremendous impact on the lives of DC children and their families. And what I didn't fully realize back then, but that I know now, is that the impact is on both the micro and the macro level. Children's Law Center starts with each child, keeping that child at the center of everything that they do. And then they take a more holistic approach, focusing on supporting the child's family, their education, and their health and well-being. Then, as they get to know each child, each family, they start to see patterns and trends and use that information to shape the laws and programs and have an even bigger impact on the macro level. And that is what I call making a difference. Now, this is an organization whose mission is very close to my heart. You see, my mom worked 3 jobs and struggled with mental illness and substance abuse. Her struggles eventually took their toll on all of us. My sisters and I ended up in foster care. But I was lucky. I was lucky because I had a lawyer who helped me find the right foster home, kept my education on track. And I just have to add a little ad lib here because someone was asking me this question earlier today. When I applied for law school and wrote my essay, that's what I wrote about because I wanted to help kids. I only knew one lawyer in my entire life when I applied to law school, and it was the lawyer who helped me in court. So again, I was very lucky. That experience inspired me to go to law school, and fast forward, connected me with this amazing organization that we're all here supporting today. So another thing I really respect about the Children's Law Center is that the board and the staff are always asking, how can we make an even bigger impact? How can we get closer to our vision of a city in which all children have a strong foundation of family, health, and education? Before we share more about that, I want to recognize the many people who stand committed with me to help children soar. First, I'd like to recognize the many sponsors you'll see listed on the banners and video monitors around the room. They stand with us so that we can stand with children. So please join me in thanking our visionary sponsors, Latham and Watkins, Covington and Burling, and Skadden. All 3 have been longtime leading supporters of Children's Law Center. And a special thank you as well to our pioneer donors. There are 10, so hold your applause. I'm going to read them all, and then we'll acknowledge them. Aiken Gump, Arnold and Porter, Bates White, Crowell and Mooring, Denton's, Mayor Brown, Ropes and Gray, Sidley Austin, Steptoe and Johnston, Venable. That's it. That's 10. Thank you. We also have a special thank you to the sponsors and supporters of the District Cup, presented by H&R Block. Yes, this is exciting. This is a polo event, which I know everything about, so just ask me later. It's very, very cool. It's a polo event that's happening this Saturday on the National Mall. The District Cup Foundation helps to raise awareness and funds for local nonprofits, and we are proud to be 2023 beneficiaries. So last but absolutely not least, the incredible Children's Law Center team. If you haven't had a chance this evening to talk with Children's Law Center staff, I strongly urge you to do so before the evening is over. Look for anyone with a yellow badge that's on their name tag. There's no group that I trust more to serve the legal needs of the district's children, so please join me in thanking them right now. Now, as I mentioned, the Children's Law Center team has continued to ask the very hard questions. What can we do to have an even bigger impact? To tell you more on that, I'd like to introduce you to the Children's Law Center's Executive Director, Judith Sandalow.
Thank you, Traevena. Children's Law Center has indeed been continuously evolving and changing to meet the needs of DC's children as their needs change, and we've been doing it for 27 years since 1996. One change comes from seeing how traumatic it is for a child to be removed from the care of their parents, be away from their brothers and sisters, and placed in foster care. We're not the only ones who are concerned about that. DC's Government Child Welfare Agency shares the vision that we have, which is that we should focus our resources on strengthening families and keeping children at home with their parents, not putting them into foster care. I'm really proud of the work that Children's Law Center has done for more than 2 decades to make that dream a reality for so many DC kids. Much of that work has been finding ways through guardianship, grandparent subsidy, and TANF reforms to the law, which actually many of the pro bono lawyers in this room have been a part of, that provide financial assistance to parents so that they can lift the burden of poverty off their shoulders. Because the truth is, it used to be that hundreds, maybe thousands of kids came into foster care simply because the burden of poverty just wore their parents down. And rather than lift that burden from a parent's shoulders so that she could focus on being a good parent, the government chose to remove kids and to have a foster parent get paid to raise them. As this city has shifted toward a prevention model, it's led to fewer kids in foster care. But sadly, it doesn't mean that we've reduced the number of kids who are living in poverty. The weight of poverty is still an incredibly heavy burden, and for children to thrive at home, we need to help take that burden off of parents' shoulders. The truth is that Children's Law Center, we already have that expertise, because for 2 decades, our medical legal partnership has been representing parents, helping them to secure good health, quality education, and other good health care outcomes for their kids. And we can take that learning and use it to support parents. Our goal, just to be very, very clear, is to shift the focus from putting kids in foster care to giving them the capacity to stay home with their parents, but to thrive at home with their parents, not just to be at home. So this year we've adopted a new vision for ourselves. It reflects the evolution in our thinking. We envision a world in which all children have a strong foundation of family, health, and education, and are free from poverty, trauma, racism, and other forms of oppression, because those are the weights that are on parents' shoulders and on kids' shoulders today. It's a hugely bold and ambitious vision, I know it is, and some of you are thinking, how are we gonna get there? I am an eternal optimist, but one of the reasons I am is because the community of people that we get to work with every day is an incredibly talented group of folks with the skills and resources to work together to actually make that vision if only we can believe it's possible. And who is that community? Our community for Children's Law Center, it includes more than 100 staff, more than 500 pro bono attorneys and volunteers. It also includes 60 smart, caring, and dedicated members of our 3 boards, our emeritus governing and advisory boards. It also includes thousands of parents and youth, policymakers, coalition members, and medical partners. And of course, as the executive director, I have to add, we can't achieve that vision without the wonderful sponsors that Traevena mentioned earlier, and all of the individual donors who together allow the funds for us to do this work. If you are a member of any of those groups that I mentioned, would you raise your hand, because I think we need to take a moment to celebrate you. I'm looking around the room and I know that some of you are those people and you're not raising your hands. I have to say, I think almost every person in this room has become part of our community. And the truth is, just by showing up tonight, learning about the work we are, supporting the people who are doing the work, you too are making a difference for kids. It's a collective effort. We can't do it alone. It's going to require all of us together, and I'm really glad to see such a full room of folks coming together to do that. So if you've been at our benefit before, you know that each year we try and introduce you to a child or a family who we've been able to help and work with over the course of the year because of the financial support that each of you has provided. Tonight we're going to do something just a little bit different. You get to meet our Children's Law Center family outreach worker. Her name is Shirelle Kouyate, and she's going to come up in a minute. Shirelle works with dozens and dozens of our families and parents every year. I think of it this way. If I describe Shirelle's job, if a parent is the CEO of a family, Shirelle's like their chief of staff. So sometimes, as she'll tell you, a parent gets overwhelmed. They have too many things going on. They even are so overwhelmed that they have a hard time staying involved with their lawyer to get the outcomes they want for their kids. Shirelle helps to lift some of that burden off of their shoulders so they can focus on their kids, on getting the good health and educational outcomes that they want for their children. But she can tell you about it more than I can, so I'm going to let her share that.
Thank you, Judith. Tonight, I want to share the first case I was ever involved with at Children's Law Center. The case involved a mom who was a born and raised Washingtonian. She grew up in Ward 7 and 8, just over the river there. She was recently divorced, raising 2 young children, a boy and a girl, born less than 2 years apart. Her daughter was doing well in school, but her son was struggling. He was diagnosed with autism, ADHD, and anxiety. But because his school wasn't the right fit, he was having behavioral issues. His mother would make surprise visits to the school and find him sitting in a corner doing nothing while the teacher worked with the other students. I want to pause here and repeat that. The school was keeping him away from other students, preventing him from participating in activities. He was eating alone in the classroom while his classmates went to the cafeteria. The school said he had behavioral issues, but they were different than how he behaved at home. It was as if they were describing a different child. And then to learn that he was left alone, without support from the very adults meant to help him learn and to grow, the mom was furious. What made it worse, no one was listening. The school didn't take her seriously. Then she found Children's Law Center. People started to listen once an attorney was beside her. Children's Law Center helped her son transfer to a new school. Once he was in the new school and settled, his mother said it changed his life. He started participating in activities, focused better in class, and finally was able to eat lunch in the cafeteria with the other students. As time passed, it was clear it was the right school for him. He did well in school, went on class trips, participated in off-campus vocational programs, and just enjoyed being with other kids. He was no longer excluded. And life got better for his mom, too. She was able to be fully present for both of her children. Now, I know all of this for a fact because that client is me. Before my son started in his new school, I was working evenings and weekends because there were so many emergency calls from the school asking me to come pick him up. It was hard. Hard holding a full-time night job when I was also taking care of my kids full-time. Now, so many parents felt this during the pandemic, but for me, it was my life for over 5 years. Once my son was in a better school, I decided to look for a day job. I started hitting refresh on the Children's Law Center career page, thinking, please let there be a job for me. It's a testament to how much I believe in this organization. And now to be part of helping others in my community, it's incredibly rewarding. As parents, we are the #1 champions for our children. Now I get to help more parents advocate for their children. And being a native Washingtonian, the parents and caregivers I work with feel comfortable confiding in me. I get to listen and continue to learn. And I attempt to help with any challenge that is impacting their family. Sometimes it's as simple as breaking things down for them because they just don't know where to begin. It's not unusual for me to hear, "I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I'm worried." I help them create a path forward and clear some of the hurdles that get in the way of them being able to be there for their kids. Earlier this month, I helped a mom find school supports for her child who has a disability. Last week, when I found out that one family didn't qualify for SNAP, previously known as food stamps, I connected them with a list of food banks who could assist them with food. And recently, I applied for utility assistance with a family whose electricity had been turned off. I am so thankful. The staff at Children's Law Center crossed my path when they did. My son graduated 2 years ago. Thank you. And he is doing well because this organization listened and stood by me. And now I'm so thankful I get to do the same for others like me and countless more who they'll help. Thank you.
What a queen. Shirelle. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for telling us about your family and your work. It's been really heartening to know that Children's Law Center helped you, helped your son, and that now you're doing the same for so many parents and grandparents. Thank you. Yes. So one thing that Shirelle and Judith did not share is that they are working together on the new strategy. I think Judith alluded to it though, but this new strategy is about expanding access to justice by giving former CLC clients the tools to be like Shirelle, which is really amazing, to help neighbors advocate with schools and landlords and avoid the need for a lawyer, because doesn't everyone want to avoid the need for a lawyer? So that is tremendous. So how can you help transform the life of a child? Thinking back, I realized that someone must have paid the salary of my lawyer when I was in foster care. And your donation may have been the reason Shirelle was able to call on Children's Law Center when she needed help. So clearly, Shirelle and I wouldn't be standing here without those investments. So tonight, I'm asking you to join me in having the same impact. Give a child the opportunity to thrive. Your investment will ensure that this impressive organization can continue to meet the day-to-day needs of children and families while also ensuring that we can stay nimble, adapting to our changing world. So please dig deep and make a gift tonight, please, before you leave. Many of you are here as guests of someone who has already given generously. Please join them by making a first-time gift tonight. For those who have already made a gift, I hope you will consider giving a little bit more, or even a lot more. That's fine as well. And of course, we've made it very, very easy with 3 ways to give, and that's highlighted on the TV screens. You can scan the QR code. You can text DC Kids, DCKIDS, to 44321, or look for one of the boxes, like this one, on your way out. Thank you, Vanna. Just drop your name tag into one of those boxes that corresponds with the amount that you want to pledge. We make it so easy. Don't worry, we'll follow up. We'll follow up with you tomorrow to arrange your payment. It's really, really simple. And as an incentive, the Chip and Vicky Maggot Fund is matching every gift that is made or pledged tonight up to $50,000. So that means that anyone who joins me and makes a new Kite Club level gift of $1,500 or more will have their gift matched 2 to 1. So that's a huge impact. You're doubling your impact. That's $100,000 total, so that Shirelle and her colleagues can expand their reach and impact and expand their impact for years and years to come. My husband, Marlon, and I have proudly pledged $20,000 to this fund because we know that I would not be standing here before you tonight if someone hadn't made a commitment to support me. And one last fun challenge. When you leave, please pick up a wine bag, because who doesn't need another wine bag? This one includes an eye-catching kaleidoscope, and it reminds us of the brighter future that we can all have if we just come together. We can create it together. I love the kaleidoscope thing. It's just really special. So please, get a wine bag. The next time that you go to a friend's house and you bring a bottle of wine, you can pass along the bag and ask them to what? Make a gift to the Children's Law Center. See what we did there? So to sweeten that gift more, their gift will be matched dollar for dollar if they donate before the end of the year. So please, this is going to be great for holiday parties, Thanksgiving, or even earlier than that, please. I'm speaking on behalf of Brian. You and they can make our vision come true, a world in which all children are safe, healthy, and learning. So with that, I'm going to pick up my water bottle. So I'm going to raise my glass to make a toast. Let's make a toast to the Children's Law Center. Thank you for all your support and for joining us tonight. We have the room until 9 p.m., so please stay, eat, and enjoy the evening. Thank you so much.